What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday. Sorry about that. It is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. Days be flying by so much that sometimes I'll be forgetting the days. But it's Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here. And I also work in sales, the proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside the occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Kathleen Kalb. She is now a news anchor at 1010 Wins in New York City, but has over 30 years of experience being a news director / news anchor, working in places like Connecticut and also Vermont. We're going to talk to her about her why of getting into this news industry, her longevity being in it. We're also going to ask her some fun questions as well. So, without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, hardworking, and beautiful Kathleen Kalb.
And start video and
Hello there. How you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. You look
Good to
absolutely
see you.
lovely today. I just want to say
Thank
that.
you. I just figured out how to do backgrounds. I didn't think
Okay.
I didn't think Zoom supported backgrounds on my laptop. I win. I got my Manhattan behind me. I'm thrilled.
Absolutely. No question about it. I love that. And I just want to say thank you for allocating your time to me, being on my podcast, Work Hard,
Delighted to
Play
be
Hard.
here. Delighted to be here. That's great.
Absolutely. I just want to ask you, how's your week going so far?
So far, so good. Busy because I'm sure you're aware that I'm a fill-in anchor and I cover when other people are on vacation. So my week has been all about getting everything lined up so that all I have to do is do my fill-in work for the next week and a half. During Thanksgiving,
Absolutely.
I cover other people. So I'm going to be working a lot the next week and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. While everybody's on vacation or
That's right.
off,
Yeah.
off, I totally understand that. I want to reiterate to you why I want to have you on here real quick before I start peppering you with all these questions. I know you are at 1010 Wins, which is in New York City.
Yes, sir.
I know that you've also been in stops of Connecticut and Vermont as well, being a
In
news director
Pennsylvania.
and Pennsylvania as well, being a news director and news anchor. I know you're a University of Pittsburgh grad as
That's
well.
right.
I know also I'm a journalist. I love talking to other journalists about their why. It's rarity, Kathleen, that we get a chance to sit down and talk about our story, our stories of how we came
Yeah.
into the industry, right?
We're not
So
supposed to be part of the story. That's right.
absolutely. So it's great that you are. It's great that I'm talking to you because your story is just as important as anybody else's, and it's also special. So I want to be able to hear your story from your perspective and be able to get to know you a little bit. So I say all that to start off this first question the same way I do with all my podcasts, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspirations that you had in your life? But what is your why of getting into the journalism business?
Okay. That's actually a really easy one. Back a few decades ago, several decades ago now, I was in the back of my mother's Buick as she drove around Western Pennsylvania in the late 20th century. And I was about 7 or 8 years old. And the little tiny radio station in town took the network top of the hour newscast. And I would hear the news being done by these great, CBS network voices, these, commanding presences, these people, these amazing people,
Right.
all of the male people. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, if they let girls do that, I want to do that. Because I didn't know at that point if they even let girls do that.
Right.
And so that was, that was kind of where it started. That I thought if it was something girls are allowed to do, I want to do that.
Okay.
And
I
yeah,
like that.
and actually that's one of the things I'm proudest of after 20 years in the slot at Wins, that at least no little girl who was ever being driven to ballet class by her mom will ever have to wonder if girls can do that, because she
Right.
heard me doing it.
Right. I love that. I do. Is this something that you always like wanted to do from the very jump, or did this kind of fall into your lap? Did you discover this, or did you just know growing up you always wanted to be in media?
I always wanted to be in media. I always wanted to be a writer before I got into being a journalist. Specifically, I wanted to write fiction. I actually wrote my first novel that I tried to sell at age 16. I tried to sell the damn thing. It was
Mm.
horrible. Thank God nobody bought it. Thank you. My name on that thing, having that thing now, but I did. I tried to sell it. I actually got a couple editors to read it. And this is back in the days when you sent the big fat envelope of your manuscript to somebody's, and it came back and, big fat envelope with rejected. But
Oh, I'm
so
sorry to hear that.
that's it. At this point, I've got about 300 rejections in my email file. So the first couple really hurt. By the time you get to 300, they hurt, but they don't hurt like that.
I feel that. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
No, it's
absolutely.
never a happy thing, but at a certain point, you kind of get used to it, and it's no, and you understand that rejection is no today on this piece of work. It's not a judgment. It doesn't mean, anything other than just this piece of work isn't right for this place and this time. That's it.
I feel that. Okay. Let me ask you about the University of Pittsburgh. As we
All
mentioned it
right, go
before,
Panthers.
I want to know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to the University of Pittsburgh?
Pitt was the big city school in the big city. I'm from Western Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I grew up about 20 miles away from Punxsutawney, Groundhog Country, a little
Mm,
town off I-80 called Brookville.
okay.
Think Appalachia, only somewhat better upholstered. Um,
Okay.
it was very small town, very everybody tried real hard, but it was the kind of place that you're from. It's not the kind of
Right.
place that you come back to and build your life in. And Pitt, and I mean no insult to that. It was a good place, and we had my mother did the best she could. My mother basically raised me, and
Okay.
we did okay, and we didn't need the deer to get through the winter. And that was kind of the dividing line between well off and not well off. We didn't need the deer, so we were okay.
Sure.
But
Sure.
it was not urban or sophisticated or anything in any way. So Pitt was like the big city and I had two choices. I actually had partial scholarships to both Pitt and Penn State. And
Oh, okay.
I wanted Pitt because Pitt was the city, and I wanted to be in a city with different people and vibrancy and around people who didn't look like me and didn't talk like me and had different experiences, and it was really good. It was super educational in all the right ways.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. I do have family out there in Pittsburgh. Very fond of that city.
Where,
No question about it. So I'm sorry.
where in Pittsburgh?
Oh, don't get me lying to you now. I near
No, it's
where
okay.
PNC
That's a whole area, whatever.
right, near PNC Park though. I know that.
Great.
Yeah, yeah,
That's outside. That's nice. Nice area. It is now.
absolutely.
It's really nice. It's really Pittsburgh gets a bad rap. It used to be when I was there, it was gritty and it was at the kind of the low point of the arc, and it has since come back, and it is a phenomenal place. It really is.
Okay,
Everything I
okay.
hear is good.
I just know about Hershey Park in Kennywood.
Kennywood,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. I know about them too for sure. No question. Yeah, definitely one of my fondest places for sure. Let me ask you some favorite questions,
Sure,
Kathleen, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Are you with me?
sure
All right,
thing. Let's go.
here we go. Let's rock with it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
I'm a lousy cook. My husband is the cook. But if you make me make dinner, it's gonna be what I call hit mom chicken parm, which is chicken parm, spaghetti, hopefully pre-cooked in the refrigerator, a chicken cutlet microwave, red sauce, and lots of mozzarella on it.
Okay.
It's the favorite recipe, a favorite fast dinner of one of my characters that I write, Grace the Hit Mom. And it's a thing that appears in the books, and happens to be my go-to meal as well. So,
Absolutely. Okay, I'm with you on that. I love me some Italian food now. Can't go
yeah,
wrong
well,
with that.
I live in New Haven County. We are, whatever our actual ethnicity is, everybody is culturally Italian.
Absolutely. No question. Okay, I'm with you on that. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Patti LaBelle. Oh my gosh, can that woman throw down?
Also a Pennsylvania native. No question.
Yeah, she
Absolutely.
was at the I think what is it? It's the one outside of Pittsburgh, the outdoor amphitheater outside of Pittsburgh one summer. And I don't remember how we just kind of fell into tickets for it. And I mean, it was life-changing. The voice, everything, she's phenomenal.
I'll still remember to this day her appearance on Sesame Street. She was singing X. And it was just so beautiful the way she
She's
sung.
amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
No question about it.
And in concert, just the chemistry. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. I like that. Patty LaBelle. That's what's up. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Denmark.
Wow.
My husband has relatives in Denmark, and
Okay.
shortly after we were married, before we had our son, we went to Denmark in February of all things. And I am not a person who likes cold, and yet Denmark was so wonderful that I didn't care.
Wow.
It was warm and welcoming, and enough people spoke English that you could get around, but you knew still our country. And it was just this warm, welcoming, wonderful place, Denmark. If you ever have a
Well,
chance, go.
Kathleen, you definitely in the wrong damn city. If you talking about you don't like cold now, I'll tell you that right now. You are definitely working in the wrong city, living in the wrong city.
Oh man, I'm in the wrong part of the country. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that's cool though. I like the fact that Denmark. I don't think I've had a guest on here that's mentioned a place like that, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Um, Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same
Okay.
sport.
Okay. Favorite sport I like to watch in general. I was raised in the faith. I was a Steelers fan for years. Since the CTE things, I can't watch football. I'm sorry. I can't. Since the CTE and the NFL and knowing what those people are going through, I can't.
I feel you.
So I'm now a baseball fan, and we are all at our house we're Mets fans, and we like to watch the Mets when they're doing well. Yeah, I know. I know that face. We like to say that Mets that it teaches us good lessons about losing well and heartbreak and and
Sure.
coming back and all that stuff. So Mets, it's like it's a Zen thing being a Mets fan. But the one I like to see in person is minor league baseball. Any team will do. We had tickets for the New Britain Bees for a while. We went to the Bees, but really any minor league baseball game will do because it's the summer and the grass and the game and it's the experience.
For me, it's the funnel cake. All that and a
Oh
funnel
yeah,
cake.
yeah. Sign me up. Those are good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
I'm
do.
with you on that totally. Minor league baseball, they have great deals, great seats you can get,
Yeah,
and typically great play because it's hungry
and you can
players
see
that's trying to
people on
move
their
on.
way up, or see people who are really good, who are still playing just because they love to play or because they still hoping for a shot. It's just great.
Absolutely, and it's not terrible being a Mets fan, not at all. I have family members who are Mets fans. Obviously, they
Oh
beat the Phillies this year, which is definitely something that
yeah.
the Philly fans, oof. I mean, I obviously I feel for them, but then again, I'm like, I got to go with my family. They're Mets fans, so they were
Yeah.
very happy when they knocked the Phillies out
It's
of the
a
playoffs.
being a Mets fan is like a thing. It's very funny actually. I picked it up with a previous boyfriend who somebody I dated before my husband, and I got rid of the guy, but I kept the Mets. So
I like that. I like that. Oh man, that's funny. Favorite restaurant to eat at. Now I'm a huge foodie, Kathleen. So eventually, when I do come up there to the city again, because I've been in New York a few times, but when I do
yeah.
come up there again, I definitely want some good food spots. That's for sure. So what's
Okay,
some good
so
food spots?
Goodfellas in New Haven. Anywhere on Worcester Street is good. Goodfellas is easy to get to, and it's where I had a milestone birthday party not too many years ago. It is a classic New Haven Italian restaurant, and you have the great New Haven. The food is good Italian food, and the atmosphere is warm and inviting. So Goodfellas, New Haven.
Okay. Obviously, when I do come up there, I'm gonna have to say hello to you and definitely head over to Goodfellas. That's for
Yeah.
sure. No question. I'm with you on that. Let's talk about your day to day. Obviously, as you know, as an anchor, it never is the same. Every day is
No,
different.
no,
That's the fun thing about doing journalism, though, is
it
that you
is.
don't
It
have
is.
differences in days like that. Talk to me about how your day to day is, and how do you prepare yourself to get ready, especially since you're a fill-in anchor, so you pretty much get the call, then you come in and fill in. So, talk to me
Yeah.
about your day to day process.
Okay. So I work every Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Every week I work Saturday and Sunday. I support my nasty habit of being a stay-at-home mom by working every Saturday and Sunday and then holidays and fill in whenever the summer fill in holidays, that kind of thing. So at any given time, I'm always ready. I'm always informed enough that I could work. You know, I read in every morning, so at least I have a rough idea of what's going on in the world. You know, even if I'm going to spend the day writing, I would need to know so that I'm ready for the next cycle, news
Okay.
cycle. The thing that is interesting for me is the thing that's most interesting about my life is my commute is 3 hours each way.
Wow. Wow. 6 hours in the car a day.
And no, on the train, I mean, here's what I do. This is the part that always floors people, so bear with me. On a
Okay.
typical weekend, I go to on Friday afternoon, I go to bed at 5. I get up around 9:30, get myself together, leave the house at 10:30, drive to the New Haven train station, take the 11:30 train, which gets me to Grand Central around 1:30. I'm at my desk by 2. Always a taxi because at 2 o'clock in the morning, you just can't walk. I would if I could, but I can't. So I'm at my
You
desk
said
by
2 o'clock in the morning?
2
Excuse me,
a.m.
you said
I'm at my
oh
desk
my
at 2 a.m.
oh wow. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a
Keep
little
going.
early. I'm a little earlier than I need to be, but I'm one of those people who really likes to organize so that I'm ready for everything that comes in. If all hell
Okay,
breaks loose, I can throw the thing that just happened on top. And as you know, you work in newsrooms, you worked in newsrooms, you know, crazy stuff happens. So if everything
absolutely.
that you can control is controlled, when the crazy stuff happens, all you have to worry about is the crazy stuff.
Sure,
That's my
sure.
approach. So I round 2-ish, I get to my desk
Mhm.
and we have a prep period between 2 and 5. And prep the show, drink some coffee, get myself together, get our show together, line up the studio, all that stuff. At 5 o'clock, I go on and I do my first show, first half hour. At 5:30, my partner comes on, and then he takes from 5:30 to the top, and we do that, alternate that until 11. I finish my last show at 11:30, and then I leave. And then I do walk up to Grand Central, which is about a 50-minute walk, 50, which is my exercise for the day. Get on a train, get home by a little after 3 p.m., spend some time with my family, go to bed by 6, get up at 9:30 and do it all again.
Wow, wow,
And that's
Kathleen.
a typical morning drive day. And I do that at least twice every week, some weeks 3 or 4 times.
Okay, I mean, listen, that's dedication right there. That's hard work right there. I mean, just let alone getting to the station and doing that at 2 in the morning, and whoo, I'm tired listening to it, and you do
What
it.
what I always tell people, because I do on Monday through Friday or whatever during the week, I'm a mom. I'm a suburban mom. I go to PTA meetings and I go to school things and I have friends
Mhm.
who are my son's parents and whatnot. And I tell everybody that I'm even a little bit close to, if you see me on a Monday, I'm not drunk. I'm tired. Don't think I'm impaired because I'm not. I'm just tired.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind if I ever see you on a Monday. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
No, good luck. Good luck with any. It's good luck getting anything from me on a Monday.
I
So.
feel it. Now, obviously, you have a lot of experience being in this industry, as I've done the research to do that. Talk to me about how has it changed from when you first started out to now doing news now.
Yeah, a lot of it is technology. We I started when we had, I don't even know if you know what they are. Cartridges.
Of course.
They look like
Yeah.
8-track tapes. You know what carts are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people listening or watching may not. They're little things that look like 8-track tapes that have a single commercial or something on them. When I
Mhm.
started out, that's what the spots were on. The commercials were on carts and sound bites were on carts. And my first year at KDK in Pittsburgh, when I was like the lowest person on the totem pole, one of my jobs was to erase all the carts so they could record over them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so that
Wow.
was, yeah. And we were just at that point starting to use computers for writing copy. And there was still writing that took place on typewriters at that point. And when I went to, when I went to Vermont, we had an old, basically an old kind of a teletype. The next thing up for a teletype machine was a dot matrix printer that would spew out the Associated Press wire copy for the morning. And if that printer failed in the night, I would get there at 4 in the morning and have nothing to put on the air. So I would find myself, scrambling, calling the Associated Press and saying, please resend it to me. And,
Right.
at that point, this is before email. There was nothing they could do other than send it down teletype. And grabbing a news, getting the local newspaper and rewriting like a maniac in hopes of finding enough stuff to fill that 5-minute newscast.
Sure.
So that was what we were dealing with then. By the time I got to WINS, we had the early computer systems. As far as copy goes, you had early digital systems where like the copy was in it, but we were still reading commercials, reading spots off of sheets of paper at times, and reading the weather forecast off sheets of paper and things like that. And sound bites were still all on cart, as were spots. And then finally we went fully digital. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. We moved from 57th Street. We moved from 57th Street down to where we are now in Hudson Square. And that's about the time that we started. And when we had the new facility, the new physical plant, they put in newer stuff. And so that's probably the point at which the last of the cards went away.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was,
Totally understand that.
yeah, and you will appreciate this. We would still get people, because radio stations and big radio stations especially have people who are loyal and a little bit, how shall we say, interesting. And we would have people who would call. I mean, literally for years, there were a couple of guys who would call and say, "What happened to the carts? Where did the carts go? Can I buy some carts?" And the poor
You always
NPAs
got
who
a
were
couple,
answering,
Kathleen, don't you? You always got a couple.
and the poor NPAs who were answering the phone are going, "I don't know. They don't have them
Right.
now. What are you talking about?" So
Right.
yeah.
I feel that. Okay, let me ask you about mental health and work-life balance. Now,
Ooh, okay.
obviously, mental health, as you know, a lot of colleagues have drifted off from this industry because of that. I'm sure you've known some colleagues that have done that.
It's
This is
hard.
not this is not a 8 to 4, 9 to 5 type of business. This is something where journalism can take a long days, a lot of hours, and you got to have the right reasons why you want to be in this industry. Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also have that work-life balance. Again, you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a friend, you have family as well, but you also love what you do, obviously in the
Yeah,
journalism space because you've been doing it for a while. So talk to me
yeah.
how you balance that and keep your mental health strong.
I'm really lucky. I'm able to be, a weekend anchor and a weekday mom. I was a little older than average when my son was born. My husband and I are both in the business and we married late. In radio, you tend to either marry early or late or not at all. And we both of us had pretty significant careers by the time we got married. And we decided that if we were lucky enough to have a kid, and we were blessed, one son, and that we would organize our lives around him. And I was still part-time at WINS at that point. So it was real easy for me to just say, okay, I'm going to continue working part-time. And he was by that point, he had moved into teaching at journalism school at UConn. And he was able
Oh,
to
okay.
stay. Yeah. He was able to stay at an adjunct status for a while. Right in the first few years of our son's life. Both of us were technically part-time, even though we were probably working closer to 2/3 time, but it was technically part-time. So he
Sure.
always had a parent at home with him, whether it was me or my husband. He spent the first 5 years of his life always with a parent. We sent him to nursery school for socialization and that kind of thing, but he always had a parent within reach. And
Sure.
then, yeah, we were able to pull it off. Not judging anybody for what they, it's the one advantage maybe to being a lot older when you have your kid, that you can arrange your life around them a little bit more. If you're very lucky, and and we were lucky, and we didn't want to we wanted to kind of repay that gift by making sure that he got the best, which meant taking a stall. So, by the time he starts kindergarten, I'm picking up a little bit more work at Wins, but not that much. And I have 5 hours a day at home to do something. And you can only watch so much TV. And I started writing, which I hadn't written fiction seriously in probably 20 years.
Okay.
And it was always kind of noodling in the back of my head that a lot of my experiences, like working at a radio station in Vermont, and a lot of the things that ideas percolating in the back of my head that might make a good murder mystery. And I started writing like light and fluffy. They're categorized as cozy mysteries, which to me sounds like dismissive stuff that grandma would read, which it's not. They're smart, they're modern, they have a diverse cast, they have take on some significant social issues. The characters have like one of my main characters has food issues, another one is widowed and is processing that whole thing. There's everybody, this is not your grandma's cozy cat mysteries.
Sure.
But they're light, but they're still very light and fun. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't write about in my books that because they're not, this is where I get to make everything come out okay. And that's one of the things that's really great for mental health is that that you have an outlet, whatever your outlet is, if it's yoga, if it's dancing, if it's, just going out and walking around the reservoir. Mine's writing. And if you need something, and you need something where you feel like you're in control and in charge and you feel like you're good at it,
Yep.
and particularly in a line of work and at a time where we feel we have so little control over things, the big events and things happen, or small events, somebody gets hit by a train. It's a huge event to the people it happens to, but from a news standpoint, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
But it's a very big deal to obviously the person in front of the train. But all of that stuff wears on you as the person who has to tell those stories. And so you need something, whatever it is, you need that thing that is not where you are not the person who's responsible for those stories and getting it right and everything, when you're writing fiction, there's still a fair amount of responsibility. It has to be realistic. It has to be well, clean and done. But if I discover that a particular way to kill the bad guy is not going to work, I can change the plot and make it do it the way I want to do it. I don't have to, that kind of thing. Or if I decide that, if I'm really annoyed with somebody, I can make them into the bad guy and kill them.
You could, absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about fiction and imagination.
Yeah.
You can pretty much make it up. I love that.
Yeah. It's like that. I don't have it, but a lot of mystery writers have mugs that say, "Be nice to me. I'm a mystery writer. I could kill you in a book."
That's different. That is different, Kathleen. No question about that. I want to know what's some of the titles of your books, because I would love to read that.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. This one's coming in March. As it happens, I have a stack of books with me. I write under both my own name and under the name of Nikki Knight, which is associated with the Vermont radio books and also with the Grace the Hit Mom series. My husband actually came up with the name. It was for the radio series, and I was trying to come up with, some kind of something that sounded like a nighttime DJ, Crystal Star or Violet Blue or something.
I like Nikki Knight. Nikki Knight is good. That's
it
good.
is. And my husband toddles up behind me while I'm trying out names and says, "I'm Nikki Knight." So he christened her. So anyway, Nikki's next book is coming in March from Turner Publishing, Hound of the Bonnevilles.
Okay.
It's a riff on cozy mysteries, often riff on, or the lighter things often riff on the titles of classic mysteries. And the Grace series started with Wrong Poison, which is a riff on Dorothy Sayers' Strong Poison. And this, of course, is riffing on Hound of the Baskervilles. So this is Hound of the Bonnevilles. That's coming in March.
That is a hell of a name. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I like the stories. I like the plot, but that's a hell of a name. You can go ahead.
Hound of the Bonnevilles. Yeah, so that's out there. That's coming in March. I've got under my own name, I write 2 series that are at level best books right now, which is the Ella Shane series, which features a Gilded Age diva, this isn't gonna work, a Gilded Age opera singer who is solves mysteries. And she's like a poor orphan made good, and there's a lot of by 1900 standards, there's a lot of interrogation of privilege, and she takes on it because she's half Jewish. She takes on this prejudice and half Irish. So there's talk about prejudice, and they deal with all kinds of issues that you wouldn't necessarily think people would take on an acute Victorian mystery, but they do, because in 1900 New York, all of those things were real. People were told not to apply for jobs because they were Irish. No Irish wanted here.
Right.
There's a tremendous amount of anti-Semitism. So it's much more, it's period appropriate, but it takes on some pretty modern issues. And then the other one is the Old Stuff series, and the new Old Stuff book is coming the same day as the new Nikki book, and it will be called The Stuff of Mayhem.
Now we're gonna have so many audio books, so we just write.
Oh, you can get actually, funny you should ask that. Wrong Poison, Wrong Poison was just recently put out on audiobook. So if you go to Audible, you can get the audiobook version of that. And a lot of my short stories are available in podcast form or on free websites. There are during the pandemic, I started writing short stories because they're very satisfying. You 3,000 words and out, done.
Absolutely.
And you get that wonderful satisfaction of, look, I did this, and then I've sold a bunch of them. And a lot of those are on various websites where no paywall, you can just go read them for free. The most recent one would be Your Hometown Station, which is on the Tough magazine website. And if you just Google Your Hometown Station by Nikki Knight, it'll come right up.
Okay, say less. Let's talk about advice. Advice you would give someone that maybe either is a postgraduate, someone that may be an intern at 1010 Wins, or somebody who may be a little seasoned in age like myself, that's just intrigued, that wants to get into the journalism business. What kind of advice would you give that individual?
Ooh, the obvious answer is run while you still can. And obviously you're not going to do that. So we're going to assume that you have already decided that, like my news director used to say to me, and my first news director in Pittsburgh used to say to me, you do this because it's the only thing you can do. Which doesn't mean that you're not good at anything else. It means it's the only thing that would make you happy.
Right.
So we're going to assume that that's where we are here. And if that's the case, then the answer, it sounds vague, but it's the best answer is never give anybody a reason to weed you out.
Okay.
Turn in, be on time, turn in immaculate work, have good work habits. Don't, make sure what you're turning in is accurate. And by the way, everybody screws up. Just this week, I got an email from my boss that I never want to get, saying that I messed something up. So, and even that, and I've been in the business for 30 years. These things happen, but you do your best to avoid them. And so, a lot of it is just showing up and being ready to go. I know I am surprised on every day that ends in a Y, that we are now seeing people who really want to do it, but don't have the skill set and don't have the work habits to do it. And so if you show up with the attitude that you're becoming part of the team, not that we're here to welcome you, because you're becoming part of a family, and we're not here to make your life easier. You're here to become part of our group. That's important. That's not a we run into that a lot with the younger NPAs, younger people, that they don't understand that it's a group effort. Yes, once in a while somebody does get to be the star, but we are all here supporting each other, and it's all this one large product. And if you can see yourself as part of a large product, then you also get the great payback of being part of a family, part of a work family.
Sure.
Do you watch 911 by any chance?
I used to.
Okay,
not
so
as much as I
how
used
the 118 is like a family?
Yes.
A good newsroom, a good news team is like the 118.
Yeah. I would say so. I would definitely say that. This reason why I do this podcast, Kathleen, is there's an A side and there's a B side to this industry. The A side is what we do, what we love to do. Go out, cover different. I'm sports, so I cover different high schools, colleges, and professional. You do news, you anchor, but there's all different kind of positions in this field. that people can do. But we do this because we love to do it. We do it for the right
Exactly.
reason, to be an advocate for people, be a pillar in our communities, stuff like that. But there's a B side as well. And the B side is that a lot of times people do things for the wrong reason. Sometimes they see the wonderful woman in front of the camera, like yourself, beautiful lady that's going to be telling stories and reading prompters and getting stories, but they don't know, Kathleen, what you do behind the scenes to get together. You just talked about it. It's a group effort, it's a team that helps
Exactly.
you to be able to do your job to the best of your abilities. But people that don't are not in the industry don't see that because they only see the final product, what you put on
Right.
TV.
And also there are, in fairness, there are some people in it that, you know, in our business, we all know this is true. Some people who have gotten further in the business who are really horrible to the people who are behind them, and they're either trying to slam the
True,
door on the next guy, which is bad enough,
true.
or they're horrible to people who can't fight back.
Yep.
And I have worked with a few people like that, and I'll tell you, it's like my grandfather said, you learn everything you know about a person by how they treat someone who can't fight back.
Without question. Without
And
question.
there's no faster way for me to not want to work with somebody and make sure that I have as little to do with them as possible than to see them snapping an NPA.
Yeah. You absolutely
No,
absolutely right.
that's just not right. You know, those kids can't fight back. They're trying, even if they're not adequately, even if they've come in with some, you know, hole in their education just because people do. They're kids. They're trying. You know, take on somebody your own size.
I feel that. I do. And just to piggyback off before I get to the next question, a lot of times we have to show both sides and we have to be able to do that. People have to make decisive decisions whether or not they want to be in this industry. It's a beautiful industry to be in. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love doing it. I've been doing it for the past 6, 7 years. I've just now transitioned to freelance, but I even love it even more to do the freelance because now I'm able to do professional stuff instead of just the local things and having stories appointed to me. I'm able
Yeah,
to do and have more control over that. But I say that a lot to my kids because I also substitute teach out here. I say it a lot to the young kids and the young boys and girls that try everything in this industry. You learn what you like, what you don't like, but try everything. Be a jack of all trades. And the second
yeah,
thing I say, Kathleen, is be comfortable being uncomfortable.
so
I like
true.
to I like to tell kids that be comfortable being uncomfortable because this business, the life in general, is not a comfortable thing all the time, and you have to learn how to deal with adversity and learn how to
Yeah,
deal with tough situations. So in this
yeah.
industry, you definitely want to do that.
I was talking to actually a faith leader that I know the other day, and I
Mhm.
said, you know, one thing that people really aren't comfortable with right now is uncertainty. People have a hard time dealing with uncertainty, and she was saying that that's an issue that she keeps hearing that too, and that's something that yeah, people really it's hard, and uncertainty is something you have to just kind of sit with, and
Yep.
it's an uncertain world, and we all have to get used to dealing with it in our own way.
Can't plan for the unknown, Kathleen. You can't.
That's
You,
right.
you you can't even worry about the unknown. You just have to roll with the punches
Yeah,
and roll with the cards that you're dealt. For sure. With that being said, though, it's time now that we've go to my interactive game, which is called This or That. It's a game I play with every guest here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, where I throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Which chicken place are you going to choose to go to? KFC or Popeyes?
Oh, Popeyes.
That's my girl. We off to a good start. We off to a good start, Kathleen. Let's see if we can keep it up. Which chicken wing flavors are you going to choose? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
I think I'm gonna be a lemon pepper girl.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Oh boy. I think wet. I like sauce.
Okay. And do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Oh, I know it makes me a wussy, but boneless. I know it's bad. I know it's wimpy.
It's okay. You like more
You know,
meat.
I know
That's
it's
all
just
it is.
wrong. I know, but I say that knowing it's just wrong.
It's okay.
So
That's all right. That is all right. I like boneless wings too. I like the meat. I'll eat it with a fork. I'm sure that's probably how you eat it as well.
yeah, and no, I don't eat with a fork. I'll eat it with my hands. What I
Oh,
don't like, but I like when I'm out eating something like that, I'm with my friends or my family and I'm eating and I'm talking. And the last thing I want to be doing is trying to figure out where the bones are while I'm talking. It's a
I
social
feel it.
thing. It's just the
I
enjoyment of the
feel it.
social moment.
Okay. Well, these next four have to do with music concerts that you rather attend. So let's get ready to rock.
Okay.
Let's see. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see the Eagles or Aerosmith?
Eagles, I guess.
Oh, you said I guess. Do you not listen
Yeah.
to another?
Oh, I gotta tell you, I am not big into, loud old white men.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. That's totally fine. Okay. Are you rocking with like Motown, oldies, like Prince, Michael
Yeah,
Jackson?
yeah. My playlist when I have a playlist for each character that I write, and like I'm right now I'm working on a new Grace book, and the playlist includes things like Usher and Flo Rida, and but also mixed in with Taylor Swift and Roxette and some Mary J's in there, and so I mean it's a little bit of everything, you know.
And I'm glad you said that because the very next question is, which music artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather go see Mary J. Blige or Tony Braxton?
Ooh, I think Mary J.
You sure?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I just want to make
I'm
sure.
I'm
Okay,
good
here
with
we
that.
go.
Yeah, I'm happy with that choice. Yeah.
Which
Getting
music?
to dance the family affair in a group of people, I think would be
Mhm.
a moment.
Okay, that listen, that sounds like a tough decision for you though. That's for sure.
The Tony Braxton's first album was out there when I was in Vermont, and I used to listen to it when I was driving around. So,
Absolutely, she's such a classic. Which music artist would you rather go see in person? Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey?
oh, Whitney. Oh, yeah, she was just so, she's, you hate seeing somebody with that kind of divine gift become a cautionary tale,
Yeah.
you know?
No doubt. No doubt. Now, I would definitely go. I'm team Whitney too. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Last one of the music. Which music artist would you rather go see? Boys the Men or New Edition?
New edition. Boys to Men
Mm,
is a little too, well, again, of the songs there are very, love songs and gushy stuff, and I like something with a beat to it, so more of a beat.
okay, I'm with you on that. I like
Although
that.
Thank You, the song Thank You is one of the best um kind of bops that I love that song. It actually figures in one of my radio books. The song Thank You by Boys to
Okay.
Men, really good.
Yeah,
That's one of my
absolutely.
favorites.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm with you on that. You got some good taste there, girl. I like that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton or bowling?
Yeah.
Bowling. I let my son beat me on bowling on a regular basis.
I like how you say you let him do that. That's what's up. I love that.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I understand totally, totally on that. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or football?
Basketball. Oh yeah. Especially extra points if I can get the women's game.
Okay, now I'm with you on that. Are you a UConn women's fan?
Oh
Is that
yeah.
what you saying?
I live in Connecticut, and my husband teaches at UConn. You tell me.
Okay, now I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. You know, they just came out with the draft lottery. The Dallas Wings won the number one pick overall. The same Paige Bruckers may go to Dallas, so that
Yeah.
might be a
Well,
very, very good. So
Liberty
I'm
won this
heating.
year. Liberty won this year.
They did win this year. They
Good.
did, no
First ever.
question.
So there you go.
Which which is a good thing, but a bad thing because I'm here in Minnesota. Minnesota don't want to hear about that. That's for sure.
No, I know, I know.
Pretty tough to hear about, but that's okay. It's all right. They have next year. Do you like desserts?
Of course.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna throw four categories at you. You get to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go. The
Okay.
first one is ice cream. The second one is cake. The third one is cookies. The last one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Cookies.
Wow.
Cookies. You cannot
Okay.
have my cake. I am a cake girl. There you will pry cake out of my cold dead hands.
I feel that. I know that's right, especially with me and red velvet. I like red velvet. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
that is good stuff. I like
Um,
the chocolate with the chocolate icing and the roses and all that. Mhm.
okay. What's your favorite ice cream?
Woo, birthday cake. Doesn't that tell you something?
That definitely does tell you something right there. You definitely love some damn cake. That's for sure. No question. Okay, I'm with you on that. Do you like potato chips?
Of course.
Okay, so same format. I'm throwing out four brands. You got to get rid of one of these. So here we
Okay.
go. First one is Doritos. The second one is Pringles. The third one is Lay's. The last one is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Ooh, I think I'm going to get rid of Pringles just because they're not real potato chips. They're formed in things.
Okay, okay. Now, what is your favorite potato chip?
Actually, Cape Cod honey barbecue.
Oh,
Cape Cod brand honey barbecue. They're kind of a New England thing. They're like the real kind of deep fried kind of greasy ones, and they got barbecue flavor on them, and it's a sweet barbecue.
well, I like the
They're
barbecue part. I don't know about the
yeah,
Cape Cod, but I love the
they're like
barbecue
a
part.
little they're kettle chips. That's what that's it's like a kettle type
Oh,
chip.
oh, hell no. No kettle. No kettle chips for me. I feel it. I feel it though. Listen, eat them up, tear them up. I'm the type person, Kathleen. I put my chips in a sandwich, I crush them up, and I eat it with
Oh
the sandwich.
wow,
You know?
now that's Pennsylvania style.
Yes.
Sandwiches with stuff in them, extra things in them is Western Pennsylvania style. In Pittsburgh, I'm sure you know this. In Pittsburgh, the restaurant that serves the French fries in the sandwich.
Mhm, I
So
do.
yeah, that's Pennsylvania style.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I like that. You did pretty good on this or that. Did pretty good, no question about it. I like that, except the kettle chips, but we'll leave that alone. That's for
To each
sure.
their own, right? Yeah.
To each their own. I love that. I love it. Okay. If you wasn't a journalist, right? If this wasn't a career that you would have pursued, what career path would you have pursued and why?
I would have been an actress. I probably would have we would have taken theater courses in college instead of theater and Shakespeare in college instead of
Mhm.
communications. I actually thought about it because I minored in theater and didn't had to get out of school to make a living. So I was not really able to become an actress and that kind of thing. But I think I would have been an actress.
I think you would have been pretty good too. Pretty good. Pretty good. The different type of the range of
Oh,
emotions that you
performance is
have.
different. Performance is different. Performance,
Yeah.
and also I mean that was where I was at the end of high school, and then I got to college and sort of but it sounds very florid, but I really did feel called to do this work. I mean, this was this is, okay, let's do this. This was the moment where you say, okay, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I feel it. I feel it. Theater would have been me too. Because but for probably a different reason. Me, musicals. I love musicals. I love plays. One of my bucket list things is to go see a play in Broadway in New York. I'm hoping
ooh,
to
I
get a chance
just
to do
saw
that.
my first Broadway play this year.
What was it?
Chicago, highly recommended.
Yep, yep. That's a good musical. That's a good musical.
Wonderful. And the Broadway companies
Um,
blow you away.
okay. I know my favorite three is definitely Hamilton, Hairspray, and Wicked. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wicked's coming out this Friday, so we'll see how they do
Yes.
with that movie. We'll see if it does it justice or not. But yeah, I'm definitely huge in the
Yeah.
theater for sure.
Yeah. I someday I want to see Hamilton in the theater, but this was, I mean, we were taking our son for his first show and we had to
Mhm.
kind of get a deal on the tickets. And there was not going to be an extra, this was not going to be $300 seats for all three of us. It was not
That's
going to be
right.
that night. So yeah.
Absolutely. I feel that. Okay. Give me a top four people that or not even people, but events that you would like to still cover. I mean, I'm sure you've done so many different terrific things in your journalistic career. Is there like a top four that you haven't done that you would like to do?
I haven't done an election night in New York because I'm a fill-in. So I would love to do an election night in New York once.
Okay.
Just that would be great. Um, I would love to do a royal visit because I've done a papal visit. I've been in the slot for a papal visit. I'd love to be in the slot for a royal visit
Mm,
because those things like that use all of our mad news skills for something that's kind of fun and happy. And so I think it would be great to do that. And I think I'd also like to broadcast one of the parades. like a I'd like to be
Come
the point person on one of either the championship parade for the Mets. I'd love to be the point person for a championship parade for the Mets.
on.
Or like the Thanksgiving Day parade or something. I'd like to be. I don't know that. See, I'm an inside person as an anchor, and we use reporters for for like the broadcasting from the scene. We use reporters for those parts of it. But I do think it would be fun to be in the booth once for like the Macy's parade. I think it would be fun.
Sure, sure. Uh, I'm hoping that the Mets win for you. If you want my real opinion for that, you might be waiting for a while.
Yeah, it's okay.
No,
It's good.
but
Yeah,
that's
no,
okay.
this was our shot, and so oh well.
Well, listen, you might get Soto now. You just might get Soto.
We might. We
I
might.
don't, I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't know if you will, but you might because the Mets gonna make a splash, so they're gonna get somebody. I
But
don't
they
know who
are.
they're
They
gonna
have
get.
the money. They got the cash. We'll see what happens.
Right,
Yeah,
they're gonna get somebody. That's for
that's
sure.
it.
I like those events though. Macy's Day Parade, that'd be amazing to do. That's historic. I mean, I wake up almost every Thanksgiving and watch
Yeah.
that on TV for sure. So I
Yeah,
like that a
I
lot.
work every Thanksgiving, but I'm back in the studio and I hand off to the people on the ground. So it would be fun to be on the ground one year.
Got you. Now let's do a top four of this time of stories that you have done in your career. We made a bucket list, but now I want you to give me a top four that first comes to your mind of stories that's memorable for you. Memorable
Okay.
stories.
My absolute thing I am absolute most proud of as a journalist is being in the slot for the hurricanes. I wasn't in the slot for Sandy, I was in the slot for Ida and
Hmm.
Irene. And
Okay.
as a journal, the thing I am absolutely the most proud of is anchoring during those hurricanes because we knew that people were listening on their battery powered radios for days, and all they had was a friendly voice on the battery powered radio, and I got to be that. And that
Right.
was, yeah, that's number one, hands down, my best favorite moment as a journalist.
Okay.
Um, Other things are the papal visit was fun. Marathon Sunday is a blast every year.
Hmm.
Love Marathon Sunday.
Okay.
Um, it's not happy and it wasn't good. It was not a day I ever want to live again. But I was proud of the work that we did. I and my co-anchor did on the Orlando shooting. That happened
Sure.
all on our watch, the Pulse shooting in Orlando.
Yep.
And it all came in our watch, and we did really, really good work. And respectful and careful and all that. And so I don't ever want to have that day again, but we did a
Sure.
good day. We did good work.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any more? One more? One more
Ah,
for me?
that was okay. Um, um, any New Year's Day.
Any New Year's Day?
And I'll tell you why, because New Year's is like the end of the season for freelancers, for the part-timers who come in and do fill-in work. And so every New Year's Day is wonderful because we've all earned our money. It's usually a quiet news day, and we're just
Mm,
happy to be there together, and it's a nice work family day.
I love it. I love it. Kathleen, we got a couple more questions before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Advice. What is some advice that someone has gave you? We talked about advice you would give, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Don't just do something, stand there.
Wow. Now, who in the blue hell said that? Who said
My
that?
husband actually,
Oh my lord.
he voice coaches me a little bit, and he coaches me a little bit because he's further along in the business than I am,
Sure.
and a little bit older and knows a little more. And when I was starting in New York, and I started in New York right about the same time we started dating. And he heard one of my early shifts in New York and said, "You're trying too hard, for heaven's sake." And he gave me this advice, which I guess his high school drama teacher gave to him, and then he gave it to me,
Okay.
which is
Mm,
don't just do something, stand there. It's okay to let something breathe. It's okay to slow down and take your time and make sure you're doing it right. And it's great advice.
okay. It's definitely different. I haven't heard that line before. That's for sure. No question. But hey, I love that. I love the fact that you gave something different on my podcast. I really do appreciate it. This has been a really, really dope conversation to get to know you, the writer of books, anchor at Wins. You've had a storied career of working in different places from PA, Connecticut, Vermont, and now in New York. doing your thing. Also gave some great advice as well. A
Thank you.
great
This has
story
been a
for people.
blast. I've had a blast. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I really, really do appreciate it, as I always do, Kathleen.
Thank you, sir.
My final question is there anything else that you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything in general before we conclude?
Whatever you do, do it for love.
Hmm. Wow. Well said. To the point. I love it. I love it. Well, Kathleen, I do appreciate you hopping on once again my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. You enjoy the rest of your
Thank you, sir.
Wednesday night, and we will definitely be in touch.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Take care.